Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back. I am Van, and we are all the LFR family. Yes, all 615,000 of us. That's right. We roll deep, man. We roll deep. That's how we gonna go everywhere we go. Everywhere we go. All 615,000 of us, we gonna walk up, and when it's time to vote, we gonna vote together. That's right. Make sure that our voices are heard. Us and all of our families who are not even subscribed to the channel, we going to vote together. Make a difference. I'm on the Steven Crowder kick today because I love to see the back and forth of real people talking to Steven Crowder, whom I didn't like before. I don't know if y'all seen my Steven Crowder playlist. If you haven't, make sure you go check it out, please. Go check it out. You might enjoy it. And also, I want y'all to check out hatsforsale.com. We got some really nice stuff over there, man. Make sure you check it out and put an LFR 10 for 10% off and free shipping all across America. It is hoodie season. We got Scullies now, and they go over your head. We don't have them on this video, but I promise you they are there, and they are amazing. Just go to the website, hatsforsale.com, and the link is below, and you will love it. And make sure you put in that link, all right? And so we're about to go and check this out, man. He is talking to people who are constantly screaming at him. And but just like always, he changes their mind because, you know, whenever you show somebody a certain level of respect, eventually it's going to come back to you. Eventually it's going to come back to you. That's why conversation and communication is absolutely that's why I respect so many of these reaction channels. You guys are doing an amazing job. Please send this to your favorite reaction, your favorite reactor. They are doing an amazing job just starting conversation, man. Introducing yourself to new cultures and introducing those people to yours. You all are rocking the house, man. Thank you so much. All right, so let's go and check this out and see what they're talking about. See if they're going to talk some trash.
Kind of like calling someone out as a racist. We don't want to do that.
I didn't do that. I don't know.
I know.
Because, I mean, there's people online who will demonize them, and I'm not trying to get them in trouble, you know? But people online. I
understand. And by the way, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised by the response online because of how respectful and how civil you've been, regardless of where we disagree. I really do appreciate that.
Thank you.
And I think that if you would have, instead of sitting here, and I know you didn't, but mingling with people who've accused me of racism, or as you say, trying to exploit free emotional labor, whatever that means, I think you would have found...
It's really important
I think you would have found that... Hold on a second, we're speaking here. Don't interrupt the lady.
I think you would have found that it was... completely discredited my point.
You're mansplaining here, sir. I think you would have found...
I don't know what that means. How are you going to use that term again?
Oh man, this okay. He got one already, guys. He got one already. Yes, this is about to be a good one. I told y'all this was gonna be a good one. I told y'all. Now go ahead and hit the like button, okay? I just told y'all. Now you can say, Van, you was right.
Against me.
Can you let me speak with her? You spoke for a much longer period of time than her. I'm answering.
May I speak to defend myself?
Can I address what she just said?
It's better not.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm on your side.
Go ahead. Can I just finish? I think that if you would have sit down and had a conversation, you would have found that it's very similar to what we're doing right now.
Right.
It's designed to evoke what's happening right now. It's not designed to insult anybody. I want people like you on this campus. I disagree with your points of view.
Yeah.
But I appreciate that you're respectful, and I appreciate that you're willing to talk. I hope you understand that's the point to this, and I hope you don't feel like I've been an aggressor toward you at any point.
No.
Okay.
Because I think, I was talking to my friends, because I have a lot of friends who went over there. I think it's good that we're creating a dialogue, and it's not inflammatory, and there's not any punching or fighting or anything crazy like that.
Sure.
But I think the only reason why I've stayed over here mostly is that because we have a big immigrant population here, is that there are a lot of people who deal day to day with, racism.
I'm an immigrant.
Yeah, but I'm saying, then you might understand, and especially because we have a lot of first-gen immigrants who are dealing with their visa and the stress of immigration every day. That I stayed over here because there's people we need to have. I think it shows that even with the crowd, and even there are a lot of people who dissented to you in the crowd, that having a dissent over here showed that they weren't alone. Because I know it could be scary for some people.
Sure, I understand. And believe me, one thing, I used to tell the story, when I used to do stand-up comedy, I used to get so violently ill because I really do have a fear of public speaking. And I think a lot of people do. I think even more so when there's a culture of fear, as you see on college campus, where people are afraid of speaking out because they're admonished as a racist, right? As you didn't... But you've heard some people say it, and that's the whole reason for this, is there are a lot of students there who've actually been othered who maybe agree with the point or maybe don't, but they want to see people have a dialogue.
Right.
So I have no problem with you being here, protesting. The only issue I have is with when people lob accusations and throw accusations from afar.
Yeah.
But can we have a handshake
of course.
or bro hug? You do bro. Gender neutral bro hug, as it's called. No, I appreciate it, and you're welcome to come and grab a seat.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
That's what I'm talking about. That's how you change the world, man. Let's keep it going, Steven Crowder, because I got a feeling he's about to have a conversation with this man that was so, well, don't want to call you a man, all right? Okay, I don't want to misgender anyone, okay? Y'all see us? Content creators are afraid to say stuff, man. Not me. I don't even know why I'm pointing at me. Okay, let's get back to it.
If you want to come over and grab a seat, you're more than welcome.
I just want to explain what emotional labor is because...
Well, then you're more than welcome to do it over there where we're sitting. We have a permit. We have a permit there. So, in wanting to take this opportunity to show these people just what Change My Mind was all about, we decided to sit down with Nicholas and see if we could smooth things over.
That's good?
That's fine. What was your name, sir?
Nicholas.
Nicholas. Now, do you see how sitting down here outside of the rain, this breeds more friendly, productive conversation? I don't want to shout out there.
Okay. I don't think that was an issue that was happening over there, but I think it's nice to be out of the rain.
Well, good. Would you like a granola bar?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay, all right.
Stop trying to be nice to me. I'm mad. I'm angry. I'm pissed off, man.
So, Nicholas, you said you would like, I know we're kind of off the path of the build the wall, change my mind, but you seemed pretty upset. I would say that you were shouting, but I guess you don't see it that way. And that's okay, by the way.
I promise you, I'm going to keep it going, guys. But I just now was looking at myself through this lens, man. I have a pretty long daggone neck. My gracious, the neck is just I got a long daggone neck, bro. What the crap? I never paid attention to my neck. Okay. Van's neck. Hashtag Van's neck.
Okay.
I don't begrudge you. What is it that you wanted to clarify for me?
Well, I think that when you were speaking to the other protester, you tried to, well, you didn't try, you outwardly said and dismissed my notion that you're exploiting UTD students' emotional labor, and I wanted to explain to you what that was so that you might have a better idea of what, at least in my view...
I'm aware of what it is. I disagree with your statement.
Why do you disagree with my statement?
I'm not abusing anyone's emotional labor here because I'm not forcing anyone to sit down. No one is required to.
Okay,
People are here of their own volition, and by the way, everyone has had a productive conversation, Nicholas, except for you. You're the only one to have yelled today.
If I yelled, I'm sorry, but...
That's okay. I appreciate it.
Don't apologize if you don't mean it.
Okay, I didn't intend on yelling, but I felt like I took offense to my notion being outright dismissed, and I just think
I didn't dismiss it. I just disagree with it.
Okay. And I will rebut and say that when you come onto a college campus, especially one where we've explained multiple times the college campus that UTD is, with a statement like build the wall, change my mind, I think you know that you're going to get a lot of emotional response from that. And even if it's from people's free will, then it's still something that you're coming onto the campus to kind of break up the flow of everyday life to try and get a response for, and you're going to take that, monetize it, and try and show yourself in the best light because of it. And I don't think that it's very right. And you can do that all you want. I'm not saying that you can't do that, but it does raise a bit of a red flag with me concerning the UTD administration for letting this happen. And I think that if you don't like this, we should all go to the UTD administration and tell them what we think of it, because I think that it's a little ridiculous to have somebody who wants to inflame us.
Do
you really love it?
Hey guys, I appreciate. Hey guys, hold on. I appreciate it, but I don't really want to go to the power of the mob. I'd like Nicholas and I to have a conversation. If that's what you want, if you want to govern this whole thing by a poll, I don't think you're going to like how it turns out, and so I don't want to do that. I think it's important to let your arguments. I think it's important to let your statements rest on the laurels of the substantiation of your arguments here.
Now, before Steven Crowder answers him, I just want to say this one thing, and I promise I will be fast. I'm usually long-winded, but I won't be this time. Okay, so he has a serious issue with Steven Crowder coming onto that, I guess, supposedly liberal university and stirring up things by sitting himself down with that sign on there about build the wall, prove me wrong, and all this other stuff. And he believed that he's trying to evoke a certain emotion out of him, and that's all. Well, the young man just has some growing to do. That's it. The older you get, the more living you do, you will understand that it's not about evoking an emotion. Evoking an emotion is pointless. Everyone get all crazy and then, yeah, I stirred them up. Look, we can sell this video. It's going to do great. It's going to go crazy on YouTube. No, it's not about that. This country is important enough to put people in uncomfortable situations, but for a moment, just so we can have a conversation and dialogue so we can change things. If we don't put ourselves in an uncomfortable situation and are willing to have conversations about things that make us uncomfortable, then we're never going to fix anything. That's the same thing with the body. Like there's a lot of people around here, there's a lot of people in the country that are obese in horrible shape because they don't want to make themselves and their bodies uncomfortable. But if they do ever decide to change their diet, drink more water, go into the gym or walk more or do those things and make themselves uncomfortable and step outside their comfort zone, they're going to see that these activities are strengthening them, are making them stronger, are making them more healthy, are making them more like they're going to start to like the way that they look more, all those things. But you first have to become uncomfortable. And that's what Steven Crowder is doing. So he's not coming on there just to make people pissed off and say, oh, I know a whole bunch of people there are liberal. Let's go piss them off. No, I mean, that might be a part of it. But at the end of the day, it's all about the conversation and how can we come to some conclusions that will help us all. I need for you to understand that, young man.
Couple of things. First off, we do have a permit, obviously, and if you don't like it, that's fine. It's very typical of people who disagree with us to try and simply shut us down rather than engage in dialogue.
And I'm not trying to shut you down. I'm trying to...
What would you call going to the administration, making sure that we can't do it again?
I'm saying tell them what we think of it. I'm not saying make sure it doesn't happen again.
Okay.
But I think that...
And what do you think of it?
Think of what?
Well, what would you tell them? What do you think of this? Why would you walk into their office and say, Steven Crowder and change my mind is...
I think it's disrespectful to people who are immigrants, who have close immigrants who are, or close friends who are immigrants, family who have immigrated. I think that, especially Latinx immigrants, if we're trying to have a discussion about a very sensitive issue for those people, outright saying build the wall, change my mind as a subhead is going to inflame them. It's going to call to mind the strong emotions of what it means for those people to come across the border here.
Nicholas, let me ask you something.
Yes.
Do you ever notice you're very concerned about this inflaming people?
Yes.
Do you ever notice that you're primarily the one who's inflamed?
The only one there.
I think that I'm one of the few people who's speaking for the inflamed. I think, as you pointed out earlier, most of the people here are on your side.
No, everyone who sat down disagrees. Every single person.
Okay, but there are people who are saying that they love it, that it's like a sport. That
a lot of people love it who don't even agree with me. They just like that we're having a conversation.
Okay.
Let me ask you this.
Okay.
Do you discuss immigration issues here on a college campus?
We do.
You do? Would you say you even do it in class?
Yes.
Okay. So what is the issue with discussing it from a different point of view?
I think when the point of view comes from a point of exclusion, from a point that...
When the point of view comes from somebody who don't agree with me, I get uncomfortable. Just say that, bro. You ain't got to look up in the air. You ain't got to look down in the grass. You ain't got to look over to the side at your friends. You ain't got to look the man in the face. Now, first of all, young man, if you learn how to communicate, you're talking to somebody who is looking you directly in the eyes, who's communicating with you directly in your eyes, man to man, because we want to understand one another. That's how we're going to talk. But when you talk to me, you won't even do me the same courtesy. You want to look all over there, and that's because you're trying to find your thoughts. You don't even know what your thoughts are, be honest with you. You don't know what your thoughts are, so you're trying to find them. You're looking everywhere. Like, no, they're already within. That's the reason why you're sitting down. You were brave enough to sit down, and I give you props for that. But now you have an opportunity to look at the gentleman that's sitting across from you directly in the eyes and actually be a man about it. Be a man about it. Like, something good can come from this.
Paints it against people who are most likely to be affected by a policy like building the wall. I think that it needs to be done in a more sensitive way.
There's a line over here, dude. Oh, really? Yeah.
And that's my issue with it, is we're coming at it from...
It sounds to me like your issue is someone discussing the issue if they disagree with you.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
But I think that if the disagreement is coming from a place of prejudice, I think that that's an issue.
See, there you go. It's coming from a place of prejudice, and that's on you. You're saying that because you feel that way. And now you're saying, oh, this person clearly has taken a stance on the opposite side. I can't talk to him because that's prejudice. No, that's not prejudice. That's just somebody taking a different position. Learn to communicate, bro. Like, learn to communicate. Everything ain't got to do with your daggone heart and your feelings, man.
I believe that we should build the wall. We should secure our borders and deport illegal immigrants and make sure that we don't have any more illegal immigrants.
But those
coming
are all
into the
things
country.
that are already happening. There's already a fence along the border.
Well, that's all we're talking about. Is that offensive at all? Is that marginalizing at all?
I think that when you're talking about divesting money from things like public education, like healthcare, like shutting down the entire government because of the wall and disenfranchising government workers who can't afford to live anymore, I think that when you're centering the topic of immigration around that issue, it becomes very polarizing and very emotional.
Let me ask you this.
Yes.
What would be the acceptable way for someone who disagrees with you on immigration to express it?
I think that they could easily talk about the fact that immigration numbers are already decreasing. I think that there's already...
someone who would agree with you. I'm asking, if someone disagrees with you and believes in strong national border security, someone believes in cracking down on work visas, someone who disagrees with you, what would be the acceptable way for them to express it, according to you, Nicholas?
Well, I think that we're at a point where we disagree on the state of border security, because I think it's already very strong. There's already a...
You got to learn to answer questions, brother. I think you're a nice guy. I think he's a nice guy, the gentleman he's talking to. He just don't know how to answer questions. He's saying, what's the approach? Like, how can we come to you and have this conversation without you feeling all overly, defensive and sensitive and hurt, even if we take that stance opposite of yours? Like, what will be the proper way of doing it? Clearly, setting up a table and saying, build a wall, prove me wrong, is the opposite of what you feel is the correct way. Now, what is the correct way?
Border fence, there's already strong funding for the Border Patrol, for ICE, and I don't necessarily think those are good things, but I think that that's the facts of it. So I would say that I don't disagree that there isn't strong border security. I'm saying...
that's not disagreeing. I am disagreeing by saying there isn't.
Yeah. And
so I keep asking you, what is the acceptable way for someone who disagrees with you? And you keep going through arguments that agree, that agree with your position.
Well,
my point is someone like myself who says security at the border is bad. We have 700-800 miles of completely unprotected border.
Okay.
Illegal immigration is a serious problem. Okay. $116 billion footed to the American taxpayer every year.
Okay.
What to you would be the acceptable way for someone who disagrees with you to express himself or herself or Z-self?
I think that...
Or Z-self. See, Steven Crowder's an asshole, man. Sometimes he can be a jerk, bruh. I still stand by that. He's still cool peoples, but y'all need to accept that about Steven Crowder. He's Z-self or Z-self. He know what he doing, man.
You could explain that. Those are acceptable ways to disagree with that. You are because you're respectfully stating facts. You are going about things without trying to paint it about race, like what the current president has done on the campaign trail.
But I haven't.
I know you haven't, and I'm not saying that it's you who's doing that. I'm saying that it's supporting a policy created out of that, created from somebody who has those beliefs. And I think that when people want to disagree about the state of border security and they want to say that it's weak, I think that as long as they're not going back to saying that they don't want people of a certain race to come into the United States.
Sure.
I think
Man, shout out to all the kids who are standing around in the rain for a political conversation. You know what? That gives me hope. Yeah. And if that doesn't give you hope, then I don't know what will, man. Because these kids could be somewhere else. They could. They're at college. Like they could be doing something crazy right now, or something extremely unproductive. You know what I mean? But they're standing around listening to this conversation because it's important to them. Some of them are standing around listening to the conversation because of Steven Crowder there. But even still, with Steven Crowder being there, is forcing them to be part of some important dialogue, just to hear it, even if they're not talking in it.
No, and I don't.
Like
it
that.
has nothing to do with
Like
race at all. It has to do with national border security. So I haven't said that. Would we agree?
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
I think that it's a little implicit, but
No. Hold on. It's not. I would like to.
Okay.
Just one thing. I think. See how the energy's coming down here. I think we're having a pretty good conversation.
Okay.
I would think that this is a little more productive than when we started off. Would you agree?
I would agree, but I also came into the fray when you were shoving a camera in my friend's face, who was very clearly uncomfortable.
Right. Well, there's a person who called me a racist, and so the whole purpose to this, to sitting down,
Okay.
to having this conversation, is so that we can talk the way we just did. Okay. Now, what you just described, right? I just said, hey, what would be the acceptable way to express an opinion with which you would disagree?
Okay.
You just described exactly what we've done here all day.
Okay.
So it seems like your mind has changed.
My mind on what has changed?
Your mind, at least, on the idea that we can be here and do what we do without it being designed to be inflammatory, or as you said, was it abusing students' emotional labor, exploiting?
Yes.
I don't think this constitutes.
I will disagree with that still, but I think that I've said all I need to say on the matter today.
You're disagreeing because he's being stubborn, and he's one of the type of people that what people think about him is the world. Is most important than anything, because what he think about people is more important to him than what people actually represent. Usually we force the same thing on other people. That's called projection, right? So he's going to assume that everyone there is uncomfortable until they say, oh yeah, we love it. And now he's like, oh man, I guess I'm by myself and I feel stupid now. So of course he's not going to give him the win. But you don't have to. But one thing you couldn't do is from here on out, learn how to communicate with another man.
Okay, but will we agree that this is probably a little bit better than you thought it was going to be? That it hasn't been bickering and sound bites. I haven't inserted any words into your mouth. It hasn't been hateful. Would we agree on that?
I agree that I've presented myself in the way that I see most fit.
Okay.
And that's all I can say.
You see that? That's what this whole segment is about. Rationalizing one's own position can soothe even the most savage beast.
He's not going to be helped from that. That youngin is not going to be helped from that, because all he wanted to do was make a point. He found out he did not, and he didn't even want to give Steven just to say, yeah, you was actually a little bit more chill than I thought. Yeah, and I appreciate how you presented yourself. Thank you so much. Nah, he didn't do any of that. He's like, man, I'm about to get up out of here before I say something nice, because if people see me say something nice to you, then it might look some type of way. So I gotta go. I gotta hurry up and go. And you're not gonna learn anything from that, youngin. I don't even know if he wants to learn anything from that. I think people don't want to learn. People just want to create new chaos for us to follow, for us to be a part of. And if we decide not to be a part of it, we are demonized. That's what I picked up from it. But I want to hear what y'all got to say about this in the comments below. And if you have yet to go to bluemonsterprep.com, please make sure you do so on your way out the door. Listen, guys, this place is amazing. It sets you up for everything. Now, I need y'all to go there, all right? And make sure you put in LFR as the code when you purchase something. Now, and the reason why you want to go to bluemonsterprep.com is because there's a lot going on in the country. All right. It might be a time where you might need extra water. Might be a time where you might need a bleed out kit. I don't know. You might be in a place where somebody injured themselves, or God forbid there was another freaking shooting or something. They got bleed out kits. They got first aid kits that we need to make sure we have in our homes. They got water. They have like huge containers. They have water filtration systems just in case something goes down in your neighborhood, in your home. We look on the news all the time, and there's always another city popping up where they're drinking brown water for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and they're shutting down the water lines and people got to boil their water. Well, you can take these water filtration systems, dip them inside of whatever water you, or just run the dirty water that's coming and just it just filtrates it so you can cook with it and you can drink with it and you can do many other things. You can plant your seeds, your vegetables and things that they have on Blue Monster Prep. Just go check it out. Let me know what you think about it because I really want to know, all right? And hopefully you enjoyed this reaction, man. If you got any suggestions, make sure that you bring them my way. And please do not get all silent for anyone. Just because you have a stance and someone is made uncomfortable because of your stance, don't be disrespectful with it, but communicate your side because it's necessary. All right? Don't just eat what's being fed to you. All right? At all. But I'll see y'all next time, man. Love y'all. Bye.